Hey YouTube. So today is September 2018, and today is another book review of the book that I'm currently reading, which is this book. It's called The Divine Comedy by Dante Alighieri, I think. The Inferno is the first installment of his works by Dante, which spans from the Inferno to Purgatory and the Paradise, I believe. Dante was Italian, and he composed a lot of works concerning the concept of sin in human beings. And this is the first book, which is the Inferno. This book sort of talks about how, alongside his guardian or Virgil, they descend hell into the circles of hell, and it's very dark stuff. I would say very dark stuff. It's kind of talks about in detail sort of punishments for the concept of sin. There's things like, let's see, there's things like snakes and coffins, boiling water, fire rain, what else? Snakes, just a lot of very dark stuff, which kind of makes you think as to how Dante knows all this stuff, because I mean, he was human after all, so I don't know where he gets these ideas from. But this sort of gives insight into sort of the Western world during the Renaissance, and Dante's sort of through this work, he sort of condemns a lot of the people who he grew up with in Florence. So a lot of the characters are people who he knew, and in his work he's punishing them with like an eternity in hell, basically. This book describes in detail how hell is sort of like this underworld, and it describes in detail where exactly he's standing and where he's walking alongside Virgil. Things like bridges and castles are all supposedly, in hell, and there's a lot of references to history in the Western world. I think things like the harpies, the muses, the minotaurs, the centaurs, a lot of key components of the Greek world are present in this book. What else? Each canto, there's a lot of, they're not chapters, they're cantos, and each chapter is sort of talks about a certain sin or a certain character. The introduction gave a lot of information as to where he was coming from. But what I found interesting was this. It's sort of like a depiction of every sin, all the way down from limbo to treachery, which is sort of the worst sin of all, condemned by Brutus, Cassius, and Judah. This was very interesting to me, how it's sort of planned out like this. Every sin, the lustful, the sodomites, the violent, the usurers, all sorts of stuff. Yeah, I could see why the Roman Catholic religion is what it is today, because it had influences from people like Dante, who sort of talked about sin in a way that it's very punishable, and it's very the life of an adult, because children obviously don't know anything about sin. I think sin is more like an adult concept. And it's something only adults and people who are middle-aged can actually relate to, because when you're young you don't think about this type of stuff. um, there's obviously no children in hell, it's only adults. um, and the Cantica sort of are as dark as it gets. There's characters who are talking all throughout the book, and you know, it's interesting when Dante makes winged beings and people who are lost souls sort of talk to Dante as he descends deeper and deeper into hell. So they'll say stuff like, oh, in my lifetime I did this sin and that's why I'm condemned to this circle. Or I was condemned for bribery and that's why I'm in this circle. So like the characters, the souls actually have some input as to you know, his descent into hell. It's a translation because it was originally written in Italian. This is the English translation by Robin Kirkpatrick. And it's a good translation because it's, I mean, the Italian is hard to read, but it's, you know, it gets the job done, I would say, the translation. So yeah, it's a Penguin classic. It's Dante the Inferno. It's a classic read. You know, it's been in history for a long time, and I think a lot of people could benefit, especially if you have a sort of like a moral compass where you think, yeah, your connection with God is a little shaky, and you want to see what happens to people who descend hell. Alrighty, that's the book. I'll see you guys at my next update. Peace.